Folks, let me challenge something you've never questioned. You see, today we naturally believe that facts are discovered. No, they are not. Most facts are manufactured over time, not fabricated but socially stabilized. By the time something becomes a fact, it's already very old. And if you're building, investing, or creating, that delay costs you. I'm just going to take a minute to quickly explain the model that we're going to be discussing in today's video. You see, for an idea to go from A to Z, it passes in zones or phases, and these are the phases. The first one is emotion. Every shift begins with internal discomfort and latent demand before any data actually exists. It then goes to the pattern stage, where similar emotions cluster and visible behaviors like repeated purchases emerge. It then moves on to institutionalization, right? This is where the system reacts through media coverages, corporate adoption, and regulation. And finally, the zone that we all discuss very largely today, fact. This is where it shifts from obvious and mainstream validation is actually reached. Folks, in the next 2 minutes, I'm actually going to explain to you in detail all these models and how you can be a better recipient of the same. Starting with stage 1, which is emotion. Every change begins with discomfort, not data, discomfort. People feel frustration, they feel boredom, they feel aspiration, they feel identity shift, they feel cognitive overload. At this stage, there are no reports, no statistics, no mainstream validation, just a small group of people feeling something repeatedly. This is what all economists call latent demand. It's invisible, but it's absolutely powerful. Folks, a takeaway here is that markets are emotional before they are rational. Always. Stage 2, which is pattern. Now, when similar emotions cluster, behavior becomes more and more visible. You actually start observing things like repeated content style, repeated purchases, micro communities that are actually forming. You see languages shifting, cultures shifting. It's no longer isolated emotion, it's a pattern. Let me give you an example. Now, before short form content exploded on TikTok, there was no research paper saying attention spans are sinking. There was just one thing: boredom. Young users actually wanted faster stimulation. That emotional discomfort clustered. Then behavior repeated. Then the pattern became undeniable. Only later did institutions validate it. Today, short form content dominance feels like a fact, but it all started as boredom. Discussing stage 3, institutionalization. This is where the system actually reacts. Media starts covering it, corporations adopt it, universities study it, and governments regulate it. Now it's become very obvious at this point, right? Take artificial intelligence, for example. Now, before mainstream adoption of tools like ChatGPT, developers and knowledge workers felt cognitive overload. They felt there was too much information, right? They had to make a lot of decisions in a short span of time. There was very little bandwidth. That was the emotion, that was the trigger. Then usage pattern clustered. Then companies like OpenAI scaled adoption. Today, governments are discussing regulation. Universities are redesigning curriculum. AI is becoming a structural fact. But it all began as a cognitive frustration. It all starts with emotion, then becomes a pattern, only to institutions to validate it, and then it becomes a fact, something that we discuss on day-to-day basis. It's the same structure, but it works every single time. Here's the dangerous mistake that most people make, right? They wait for the fact, they wait for the validation, they wait for the certainty, they wait for consensus. But consensus is crowded. When something becomes a fact, competition increases, margins shrink, originality drops. Facts are lagging indicators. Emotion is the leading indicator. If you want leverage, train yourself to observe emotional signals before they stabilize. That's where asymmetrical upside lives. Now, how do you go ahead and practice this or implement this in real life? Observe real conversations more closely. Pay more attention. Detect recurring emotional friction. Ask, is this isolated or clustering? Make small asymmetrical bets. Track feedback. Redefine. Because early positioning compounds, late correctness does not. If you only operate on facts, you operate inside consensus. Consensus can feel safe, but it's actually slow. If you learn to read emotions before they are formalized, you operate where the future is forming. Remember this, facts are archived emotions that actually survive. If you want to be early, study what people feel before they know how to explain it. That's where reality is being built.